Folks, we are back with another season of INT. For those of you who don't know, that was the first ever Wi-Fi league that I recorded and played in, and so I'm very excited to be doing this for another generation. As INT goes into Season 3 in Gen 9, it's going to have some very fun coaches, ones that we have faced, some that we have not faced ever, and I'm very excited to play whoever wants to smoke. So with that being said, we got a banging team. Let's get on with this draft analysis. I know I had some beef with this mod in the past, but it helped me win my first ever Gen 9 chip, so we got Palafin, which is back and better than ever because nothing has changed since the DLC update. It is great priority, turning, and overall great offense, which is pretty much what you need in Gen 9, and when it's paired with decent bulk and some good setup potential, it is going to be a great mod to have. It just needs to get out before it can shine, and since we have a season with Palafin under our belt, we know how to cook with this thing, so I'm very excited to have this mod back in the team. Round 2, I had no idea what to take, but when I saw it on the board, I knew I had to get this mon. We figured we needed a scapegoat on our team, similar to Lando I in WPF, so I just made it Escape Horse. That's right, we got Spectre on the squad with amazing breaking and sweeping potential. If we do start losing games, I will blame it all, but it really does pair amazingly with Palafin. Just having two heavy hitters in our corner feels very nice, and with Spectre, it really just hits that upper echelon of speed tiers, meaning that I can pretty much go nab whatever I want without having to think about rounding out those higher speed tiers. Last season, we had a very fun team in INT. We had some heavy hitters, we had a bunch of really cool mons, and they could really all pop off, and so we had to bring some of them back, and the one that I think symbolizes the INT run more than anything else is the Slow King G. Last season, I was having a blast with this, being able to take hits and then fire back with plenty of coverage. It had tons of setup, and it really did damn near everything. So I'm very excited to have this mon back, and I think it pairs very well with Palafin because it can take a hit, regen out, because Palafin needs some mon that they can go into in order to get set up. And so being able to also do that with access to T-Spikes, with access to weather for some future mons, I think it's going to be a very fun mon to use on an offensive team like this. Speaking of weather, we got big backs, and I always hate facing up against this mon because it has so much offensive potential, but because of G King's synergies, I had to get this mon on the team. I mean, I really like its ability to set up or break off rip, and what's nice about having 3 hyper offensive Pokemon at this point is that they can all break or sweep for each other, so each mon each week can fit into a more unique role, since no one's really forced to deal all the damage in one mon. And Bax and Hail is going to be really menacing. It's going to make this mon unkillable on the physical side of things, which gives me even more leeway to be able to set up. Now at this point in the draft, I wanted a fairy, and I actually ended up going with Clef next round, but I swapped it in the grace period for an even better fairy. Yes, much like G King, I like its bulk and its regenerative abilities. So what mon is that? Because there really aren't any fairy regen mons. Well, think again, because we had to draft our slow homie in our slow bro Galar. Yes, it is going to be our fairy type and also our fighting type this season, because we have its Terra captaincy, meaning that we can terastallize into the poison, fairy, or fighting types. And having this mon with G King is going to be a lot of fun, and I see a lot of shenanigans ensuing over the season with these two. Now, I have had some experience drafting Slow Bro and Slow King in previous leagues, and so just being able to do this with the Galarian forms is going to be a whole lot of fun. I really like all of these Pokemon, and so just having some fun regen buddies, some fun goobers is going to be a lot of fun going into this season, especially with how offensive our team is. We got some good homies in the back that can just take some damage and heal it off on the way out. Up next, we are still burning out that budget because we have a very solid hazard setter in Sandy Shocks. This mon is more versatile than I'll give it credit for and has a very fun offensive typing that is only hindered by the grass type. However, given the fact that we have some very good grass resists on the team already and we're drafting 4 more grass resists, it is going to be a non-issue. I think Sandy Shocks is going to thrive because its ability to Volt Switch and whittle things down with coverage and hazards is going to make everything else on the team a lot easier to do, and it's going to make the team even more dangerous once Sandy Shocks is getting in there. I can't believe this next mod fell to us at the spot that it did, but we had to bring it back because it's another WPF GOAT, and no, unfortunately, it is not the Hisuian Electrode. But we did get an OU King in King Gambit, though. This mod is so good. I don't really need to explain anymore, but it doesn't have Omniterra like it did last time. That being said, we're still going to have this thing win games on its own, just like it had Omniterra. And so once you have King Gambit on the team and you can really mess around with a lot of other mons, you always have a chance to win in the back. So I'm very happy that this mon is on our side, especially with mons like Slow King, Slow Bro, and Spectre in the back, who all oppose this mon regularly in their matchups, and it is a losing matchup always. Up next, we have some ground resists that we need to get, and that is going to start off with Moltres and Immunity, which is going to be really nice. This is a mon I've always wanted to use for quite some time, and Burn is such a good status, especially this gen, because it is going to mitigate a lot of that offense, and it basically gives our team an ability to set up on another Pokemon, which is going to be super useful. So its ability to Wisp and Flame Body stuff is going to make things very annoying for the opposition. Having a strong special attack stat mixed with U-turn and solid bulk makes this thing a challenge to take down without losing healthy Pokemon, and so I'm very excited to have Moltres on the team. Now with that being said, we have like 5 points left, and so in the back, we got some other ground resists in Thwackey, which is going to be very nice in providing terrain for some of our grounded friends, and with priority plus U-turn, I think it's going to be worth the 3 points. Having access to Grassy Seed activation is also nice because you never know when you'll need a defense boost in a pinch. The passive healing is also going to support the regen core quite a bit, so for the games that it might show up, it'll be able to provide quite a supportive low tier role. Plus with priority and U-turn and knockoff and stuff like that, I think it's going to be pretty cool. Finally, we have another Terra Captain Grottle, which is unfortunately the only new mon on the team, but just looking at the team from front to back, like, I can't really complain about the mons that we did get. But Grottle being able to Shell Smash and Sword Stance, as well as Leech Seed and get rocks up, means that this mon can help out offensively or defensively any given week. Its ability to Terra into a Water or Fairy type can also help support us in weeks where G-Bro has a tougher matchup, or if we need another Water type. And so for a 2-pointer, I'm pretty hyped to have this mon on the team. And there you have it, folks. Here it is, the Rose City Roselia's INT team for the season. It has a lot of strength and a lot of very fun mons. So I'm very excited to try it out, and hopefully we get some fun games in this season and make some noise in playoffs. Uploads will be every Sunday, so stay tuned as we play KJ2294 and the Cleveland Indides next week. I'll see you then on Sunday. Peace.